Here is the list. Epstein, Diddy, Drake, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, all on one island. I don't know, possibly. All that and more. And now we are back, and I'm about to dive in on Epstein and P Diddy and cover the... Pause. Hard pause.
I'm getting the word nonce.
Here's the thing, I think at this point, fact is stranger than fiction in this world. That's why I know. The more you see, the less you understand. And that has never been true. You know, we live in the age of information or disinformation. There's so much stuff out there. It's easy to be distracted. ADHD is just humanity at this point. Because think about it. Let's travel back in time. Remember many years ago, many years ago, when YouTube had no adverts, there was a documentary talking about grooming gangs and PDF files, and one of them talked about an island and named certain people like Epstein and members of the royal family. And then years after that there was Pizzagate and so on. But when this first came out, I didn't even know who Epstein was, and people call it conspiracy theory, and that documentary keeps getting wiped off of YouTube. By who? I don't know. Don't ask me why. Years later, the name Epstein comes up again. I'm like, wow, where have I heard this name before? And surprise, it was that documentary. And I remember he had so much stuff linking it, Illuminati this, linking it to certain powerful country in the Middle East. I'm not talking about Saudi Arabia, Habibi. And, there was all this information in this documentary, which till this day I can't find the name of. And, it even, tied into other documentaries that covered things like what's happening in the UK that people like Keir Starmer are conveniently sweeping under the rug. It was a whole big tie-in. There's so much networking, And I thought, wow, it was crazy how powerful and connected all these people are. Now, surprise, the Epstein list, Epstein gets caught. He accidentally commits suicide in a way that's physically impossible to do by yourself in prison. His wife gets found in a particular country in the Middle East. And I'm not talking about Jordan, Habibi. And after this country happens to be a country that has ties to the original Murder Inc., ties to several organizations that have used espionage and sexual blackmail to, inherit power. All of a sudden, they want to re-release already debunked lies about Michael Jackson. I remember Michael Jackson, music industry, tried to become a mogul and own rights to other things, own his own publishing, own other people's publishing, and all of a sudden stuff starts happening to him. All these accusations come out, and the music industry is tied to very powerful people from a certain country in the Middle East. And I'm not talking about Yemen, Habibi. It reminds me of how many years ago Ice Cube called out a very, very powerful man.
I believe he's being targeted.
You believe he's being targeted?
Yeah. I believe
in the music industry, who, when he took over his position in the music industry, you could see the shift from uplifting hip-hop to sexual deviance and violence. And this man was a very powerful man linked to powerful government organizations, and you guessed it, a country in the Middle East. And I'm not talking about Egypt, Habibi. It makes me wonder, why is it when certain things happen, we get distracted by things in the news? You can't see the picture, don't worry, I'm still painting. We're Picasso out here. P. Diddy, his mentor, was mentored by a certain man with ties. You now have, this list. They say they're going to publish it. Donald Trump says he's going to release the list. He says he's going to release it. Many people voted for him because of that. He said he was going to release it. He was going to end the wars. He was going to do this because he has influence in a certain country that I'm not going to name. Then, over time, we find out more and more about this list. Some people have seen it or claim they have. While all of this stuff is happening, let me take you back. After the Michael Jackson documentary, we then get R. Kelly, right? We're diverted from thinking about Epstein. We're diverted from thinking about all the people on Epstein's list because these are powerful politicians, billionaires, business people. All of a sudden, they're like, no. Forget all that Bohemian Grove stuff. Oh, sorry, did I say? Forget all that stuff. No. Look at this. And then we're presented with R. Kelly. Toot, toot, beep, beep.
Yo, killing me with this.
Now, how was he in a position to do all the things he did? How did he get away with it? It was almost as if he had protection from people more powerful than himself. As if he was kept there as a placeholder. Kind of like how In colonial times, they would create an artificially created middle class in every country so that if the indigenous people of that country were to rebel, they could throw that artificially created middle class in front of the colonized people. And while we're dealing with those people, the actual colonizers would escape. These were the mulattoes of Portuguese and Spanish colonies. These were the Indians in a lot of East Africa. These were the Indians of the Caribbean. These are the prefects in schools. The original reason we have prefects in schools is so that when there's school riots, we beat up the prefects first while the teachers get away. It's almost like these guys were prefects of noncery. I like that, the prefects of noncery. That sounds like a book. These people were there as a distraction, right? Because as soon as we got rid of R. Kelly, people started talking about Epstein again. All of a sudden, Jello pudding, Bill Cosby, all these accusations come out. Conveniently, he gets put on our screens. And once again, another black man is being made the face of this stuff. And all I'm saying is, what are the odds? Another black man who was trying to become more powerful in entertainment. Every time somebody steps out of their station, something happens. I'm not saying he didn't do those things. I'm not saying he did. All I'm saying is that the timing is wild. Somebody's wife gets found in a particular country in the Middle East that I've hinted at before. That somebody's wife actually is linked with Mossad. Anyway, I'm not going to say it, but you can guess. We've not heard from her since. She's disappeared. She's vanished. She has the complete list. Donald Trump says he's going to release the list. We find out that a particular member of the royal family is on that list. But of course they can't use DNA because he can't sweat. Don't sweat the small stuff, right? They can't prove whether he did or did not do what he said he did. Did he do it or did he not? Oh, forget about whether or not he did it. Look at P Diddy, right? All of a sudden, P Diddy appeared. For years, people have said that this guy is a bit strange, a bit odd. And now conveniently from nowhere, it becomes priority number one. There have been times where P Diddy was already in trouble, where it would have been the perfect time to highlight what he was doing. But all of a sudden it comes out that P Diddy likes to wear a niqab and watch his... We know so many details, right? And the reality is this. Human beings, we go more for entertainers than we do for the real rich and powerful who empower these entertainers. But the P Diddy list is probably the most expansive list out of all, entertainment. It's the biggest one because he was as close to a politician. The only person more powerful than P Diddy as a black man in music is Jay-Z. And who does it look like they're threatening to expose next? Now they've caught P Diddy. Have you noticed that while P Diddy has been there, his mentor was mentored by somebody who has ties to a very powerful country in the Middle East? And I'm not talking about Iraq, Habibi. No. What are the odds that this country keeps on coming up and that their security officials keep on coming up in all these scandals, especially when there's documented proof that espionage agencies from this country and criminal organizations from this country specialize in blackmail from putting people in positions that are... What's the word? I don't speak English that well. Compromising positions regarding their sexual activity. This is historically a method that's been used by the Mossad. This is historically a method that's been used by crime syndicates from said country in the Middle East. So what are the odds? What are the odds? Some of our current rulers in the UK and in the US are also on some tape somewhere. Because that's the only way that I can explain how in austerity, when people are starving, people are committing suicide because they can't pay their bills. There aren't free school lunches. Instead of building schools in the UK and funding schools in the UK, we are spending hundreds of thousands per missile to blow up schools in the Middle East. And doing it at the beck and call of a country that has nukes aimed at us if we refuse. If you ask me, I don't even think it's the nukes that our politicians are afraid of. It's something on these lists. The Epstein's list probably isn't even the biggest list on the list of lists. It would be interesting if P Diddy's list gets released and Epstein's list gets released and we could do a Venn diagram and see who appears in both. Like who's an all-star, who's a crossover artist. Or maybe it's in levels where first you start off in P Diddy's list, right? But if you work your way, if you're a high-level pervert, you go from P Diddy's list and you move up. I wonder if that's how all the high profile nonsense reflects. Well, I'm going to P Diddy's freakos. Oh no, I don't go for this. They're so ghetto. I'm more classy with my debauchery. I'm going to Epstein Island, darling. I mean, for a white supremacist guy, none of his wives has ever been like a white American. Like, he likes foreign things. You get me? Like, and P Diddy's down with the hip hop and stuff. That guy has been in rap. That guy's been in more rap videos than Eminem. That guy has been around, used to kick it with Tupac. Like Donald Trump's one of the man them still. I don't even think Donald Trump is really Republican. I think that's just, he's just a puppet. Just think about it. He's got really, really good friends in the LGBTQ community. There's nothing really Republican about Donald Trump. He loves rap. Look how many rappers he's freed from prison. Donald Trump is being exploited. That's what I think. But it's interesting how he's saying he might even pardon P. Diddy. Like, yeah, sure, he's a pedophile, he's a piece of shit. But he gave us some classic tunes, man, like I Need a Girl. What else could it be from Donald Trump's Minister of Propaganda? That's what I call him, Donald Trump's Goebbels. That flooding the zone is a method that they use to distract people from what's really going on.
Torrent of measures is a deliberate strategy to overwhelm critics and to avoid proper scrutiny.
He said so even with his open politics. That's what he does. Donald Trump says 100 things that are crazy and then says one truth. The same way we are told in the Quran, that the devil will tell you 100 lies and one truth, right? That's what these guys are doing. So, Epstein list, okay, fine. Let's tease people and say we might have a sex tape with Beyonce in it. Because that's when it comes down to it. If you give people a choice of looking at the Epstein tapes and P. Diddy's tapes, the average person will want to see P. Diddy's tapes because they want a goon to Ariana Grande. And that's what social media has done to us. They made us gullible, slow, and dumb. If a certain country in the Middle East starts bombing Palestinians tomorrow, all it's going to take for us to not pay attention is a twerk video from one of these and we'll forget. Yeah, so here we are back to the UK now regarding Greg Wallace. Now, I've had personal experiences with Greg Wallace, of course. But I just think how it's convenient that everybody cares now about what a dick this guy is. When he kept on saying random, I'm not even going to say the stuff he said to me, apart from the fact that he kept on talking to me about Maro Itoje and how he knows them, because I think he thinks all Nigerians are in one big WhatsApp group. But then again, to be honest, the way we use WhatsApp, we might as well be. He, talked about how he's booked as known and this and the other. What I'm saying is, where are all the producers that were around when he was doing this stuff? Why aren't they in any trouble? And my thing, though, is that he's turned around and done the classic cop-out of saying, oh, it's not my fault, I'm neurodivergent. Now, that's where I get pissed off, because, bro, I was neurodivergent before the term neurodivergent was cool. I have had to mask my entire life and pretend to be somewhat normal, whatever the fuck that is, or sane. I have intrusive thoughts. I'm constantly trying to hide my stims and all that sort of stuff. And I don't even like talking about it because I sound like I'm yet another one of these entertainers that, decided that, retarded is cool. But all I'm saying is, if we can hide it and you can't, let's just look at a pattern of all the people who misbehave, yeah, and then say that it's down to neurodivergency, whether that be ADHD or autism. Let's look at what those people all have in common. Yeah, that's right. You have to be in a particular position of privilege to keep on getting away with stuff. So after a while, we have to ask ourselves, is it really the autism? Is it really the ADHD? Or are you just a dick? When people can do things without consequence their whole life and nobody smacks them in the face, it becomes their personality. I guarantee you, if he got slapped a couple of times, things would have changed. I guarantee you, if he got called in and reined in a little bit, behind the scenes, he wouldn't have felt as free as he did. That means we all have uncles who are autistic. We all have that grandfather that's autistic. They're not autistic. They just go away with doing messed up shit to people because nobody ever spoke out. And then by the time you grow old enough to say something, you're the problem. Sorry, I didn't mean to say any of that. That's just my Tourette's. So the Yanks have told us, oh, can we take in Venezuelan deportees? And I'm thinking to myself, is Nigeria closer to America than Venezuela? Somebody explain to me the process. That's like touching your nose like this. They've seen how black Americans love South American women so much, yeah? They've seen how black Americans are obsessed with Latinas. And they thought that they could bribe us. Like, hey, we want some Latinas? And we say, no, thank you. We've got enough hot-headed women in Nigeria. We don't need... Nigeria said, no, thank you. But what they really meant is try it again and see what happens. Can you imagine, after these bastards already downgraded our visas, they're like, okay, if you want more Nigerians to come here, you need to take more Venezuelans. What are we doing with Venezuelans? I mean, fair enough, some might argue that, through the slave trade, some of them might have African origins and whatnot. But nah, we don't want them, because if you ask them, they'll tell you, I know black, I Spanish. So no, they don't even speak the language. The languages of Nigeria, they don't speak. Why are we going to take them? What's going to happen to them in Nigeria? So are we meant to keep them for a little bit, and then when their visas are processed, we'll then send them back to America? Because what will happen is you send the Venezuelan man to Nigeria, and then when his papers are done, you ask for him to come back. It will be a black man with a name like Hernandez. Wait, you look different. It's because of the time in Nigeria, my time. This is almost as retarded as when they were trying to get people sent back to Rwanda, from here. People that have nothing to do with Rwanda. A lot of these establishments just look at all non-white people as the same. Oh, just take them there. You speak immigrant. Just go to Africa. You'll be fine. Although then again, I can actually see a world where loads of Venezuelans go to Nigeria and resettle, because they probably would fit in. I'm sure outside of the language, there are a lot of cultural similarities between us and South Americans. So actually, that could be a link up that we'd enjoy seeing. So yeah, Zohran Mamdani, he's got all the Republicans butt hurt. I mean, I don't even want to say Republicans anymore, because let's be real, it's divisive. Not all Republicans are bad. This guy is proof that you can say Palestine deserves to be free and walk the streets of Queens unharmed. Meanwhile, Keir Starmer flinches when you say falafel. Can you see the difference? The two are not the same. These people come out and start complaining because he eats rice with his hands. But then on the 4th of July, Americans will eat hot dogs with their hands. He's probably cleaner. His hands are probably cleaner than the fork in your house, you motherfuckers. Zohran Mamdani is everything that you could possibly want. He's lived as an immigrant 3 times, right? Because he's Indian, I think Ugandan or Kenyan, who then moved to New York, right? And he's a Muslim. So he understands, he represents New York in its truest form, because New York pretty much is an immigrant's city. Zohran Mamdani, they've done so much to try and make him look bad. They even released a rap video he did, and that's just made him more popular, because New York is the birthplace of hip-hop. So no, this guy can't represent you. Here he is engaging in the art form that has made this city the most popular city in the world. That shows you how out of touch the opposition are. Hey girls, don't talk to that guy. He's understanding. He even listens. He likes women's football. I mean, to me, that would be a red flag. But, hey, if you're offended, if it's so good, why don't you watch it? Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, you're making me do this again. Come on, we're almost at 100K. Keep pushing, come on. Put this in your WhatsApp groups. Get your friends to like, share, and subscribe. Or don't like and share, just fucking subscribe. Subscribe. I need the plaque, okay? My wife wants to put something else on the shelf, and it sucks. I want the plaque. So yeah, Oasis is back. We have this toxic cycle in Britain where the economy and then GDP crashes, then Oasis kind of flirt with coming back together again. And it's weird, right? Oasis is that one toxic couple, that we still cheer for. And it's a lot like Brexit at this point. Both sides are wrong now. Both sides are fucked, but we still have to pick one. The whole world just sits down and watches a dysfunctional Mancunian family swear at each other, and it makes us feel better. They tell us not to look back in anger, but to be honest, I don't see them looking happy forward either. So at this point, their whole career is looking back in anger. The biggest perpetrators of irony don't see that the knee is full of iron. The world's moistest rapper. No, not Will Smith. The other world's moistest rapper. He's here in the UK, and it's just so moist. I don't understand. So his audience of 15-year-old girls. I'm not gonna say that they were underage, but the chances are, there was a curfew of 9:30 on one of the shows, wasn't there? Anyway, he comes and he does he does shorter spots than he's supposed to. Has 5 feet, pretty much his what he's known for, having people do the heavy lifting. He felt really seen, because Drake fans were chanting "fuck Kendrick," which is oh, okay, wow, what a victory. He then ends the show floating over everyone, singing "I will always love you." Listen, you know what? You can always tell when Drake's in town, because all the Shoreditch girls then all of a sudden have backless dresses and deep quotes on their Insta bios. Oh, Drake. How can you watch that? Also, I want to talk to like our American brothers and sisters. You guys need to stop acting like you're the only ones that are tough out here, man. You guys need to actually go and study other countries before you talk about other countries. And I say this with deepest respect. We're seeing a recurring pattern, right? A recurring pattern of like, and I'm not talking about the diaspora wars between who raps better and whatnot, because that's just stupid. Grime is just basically Tourette's to a very bad beat, but British people pretend that it's good. Yeah, grime, garage, it's bullshit. We have rappers in the UK, we do. But you notice how our rappers aren't the ones saying, like, you don't see Wretch 3-2 or Dave getting involved in this, oh, we rap better than the Americans. That's just stupid. It's the guys that aren't even known for their lyricism. Now, that aside, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this assumption that a lot of Americans have, where they're the toughest people on earth. Why do you have that assumption?
Yeah, because I'm from the hood, nigga.
There's ghettos in every part of the world, and I want you to consider this. People leave other countries to come and live in your ghettos. So if your ghettos are that bad or that tough, why are people fleeing other hoods to come to the place that you guys are trying to get out of? This is not me disrespecting you guys in any way, shape, or form. I say this because, let me give you two stories. One, Edgar Berlanga, a Puerto Rican New Yorker, boxer, was on the Breakfast Club, and he said when he was going to fight British prospect Hamza Shiraz that he was going to beat Hamza. And when Charlemagne the God asked him, why do you think you're going to beat Hamza Shiraz, who is a British Pakistani from the UK?
Fucking England, mate.
He said, yeah, these UK, these London boys, they soft, man, they soft, they pussy, man, they soft. I'm like, do I need to walk you through history of all the American fighters that have been absolutely pulverized by British people? Mike Tyson's worst beating he ever received was at the hands of Lennox Lewis. Joe Calzaghe battered several American boxers. He never lost. Ricky Hatton knocked out several. I mean, Floyd Mayweather got him too, but we're not saying you guys aren't tough, right? A big baby Miller, who's from he's from New York, he's from Brownsville, got destroyed by Daniel Dyslexic Dubois, right? You guys need to stop this. Where you're from doesn't make you tough. Then, Top 5, who's one of Drake's boys, claimed that he doesn't have to be scared in London because there's no killers here. Oh, really? Like, do these guys really think that Bridgerton is representative of the UK? Not long after making that video, he was then stabbed in the neck. Let's say this together. Dumb ways to die. I'm not saying I'm proud, and I hope Top 5 recovers and whatnot, but stop running your mouths in other countries. We've seen Americans getting killed in Colombia, getting beat up in Japan. Stop it. I love you guys. You're my brother. I love everybody. Uncle Nabil doesn't see color. Honestly, if you're cool, you're cool. We had a higher murder rate in London than New York at one point, and we don't have the access to guns. That means that the violent people here commit to it. We have more CCTV in London than anywhere else in the world. It's harder to get away with crime in the UK than anywhere else in the world. And we're still finding ways to kill each other. Do you know how violent you have to be to sharpen a butter knife and fatality somebody? I'm going to be up close. Like, it's easy to shoot. We all play Call of Duty. You've got guys running around here like it's Naruto, right? These guys are running around like it's Samurai Jack, Rurouni Kenshin. And you think because you shoot a gun from a distance, you guys don't even look when you shoot. Da, nigga, da, 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 da. These guys are running up to each other and having duels like ancient Europe. One trip through Peckham would change your mind. Okay? We love you, but stop this shit. You are not tougher than we are. Nobody is tougher based on where they're from. Except if you're from Chelsea. I'm definitely tougher than you. You guys are pussies, bro.
What?
And now, white people doing crazy shit. White people doing crazy shit. Oh yeah, Erin Patterson kills her in-laws. How many people died?
3.
Killed off 3 people with mushrooms. Like, brother, that's why I don't trust white people when they say they go foraging and that. Like, and it just shows you that organic isn't always the way to go. Like, for me, it's the effort. Like, she could have just bought cyanide, yeah? She could have gone, like, rat poison. But she said, no. She wants to work for this murder. The fact that she even had the knowledge of what mushrooms were poisonous as well. Like, what do we know about Erin Patterson? She must have. Like, that takes thought. That is something she chat GPT'd. 100%. Like, she could have at least killed them with like magic mushrooms so they were high as they died. When it comes to all these herbal teas and mushrooms you men are mixing, they can all be fatal if you don't have the right dosage. Imagine dying for beef Wellington. Impossible. If I'm going out, it's either biryani, jollof rice, or pounded yam. At least let me die with a smile on my face. So yeah, Jamie Coleman and Zara Sultana have decided to go form their own new group of left-wing political party. And it's funny, man. They're already arguing about logistics. It's like it's like a very dysfunctional family WhatsApp group. You know, the left of the UK are just they're in shambles. Right, they're dividing into more and more parties, but they're still going to find themselves eating in the same restaurant. Except one table will be gluten free, one table will be halal, one table will be vegan, one table will be raw vegan. That's just how politics work in the UK. For a group of people whose entire shtick is inclusivity and cooperation, they can't even stand each other. Honestly, we are so doomed. I told you this once, I'll tell you again. Reform is going to take over in 2 elections. Start learning to grow your own food. Learn how to fight, because and pray guns are legal so you can defend your house. Because this country is going to shit. Alright guys, we're done here. If you like what you've seen so far, do us a favor. Like, share, subscribe. Also, if you're into stand-up, you like what I do here, you're going to love my special, The Purple Pill, which was shot recently in Croydon Fairfield Halls, and it's here, no paywalls, for free. Just go through my videos, you'll find it, and I guarantee you will love it if you like stand-up. Nigeria, our former president Alhaji Muhammadu Buhari, the late general, died, and whatever you thought of him, still an icon with good and bad to his name. But inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. I went to school with his kids, so I hope that the family is well, and my thoughts and prayers are with them and with him. Allah forgive him.